right, so here we are, guys, for game number 4 of IPL Fight Club. At the 9 o'clock position on Terminus, we have our red Zerg player down 3-0 at the moment. From Team MTW, he is Dimaga. And his opponent getting progressively more excited, now throwing exclamation marks after his good lucks. And is from Team Liquid, our blue Protoss player, HerO.
When you see that little accent at the end, it's kind of like the difference between saying hello and hello. You know, and just kind of being like, just being like a more fun sort of friendly way,
more
you know?
lighthearted.
That's
and
right.
Like, hey, what's going on?
I'm like
Good
explaining
luck.
emotes and stuff today.
Yeah.
That's like my job suddenly. But all right, so let's talk a little bit about Terminus. This is actually a really good map for Dimaga, and the biggest reason is you mentioned that it's hard to take bases after 3. Sometimes that's true, but really Zergs have a great position on this map because what they can do is take a lot of bases that are very far apart from each other, and that's actually really difficult for Protoss to deal with. So this is actually going to be a map that I think is going to be very good for Dimaga. I tend to feel like this is one of the better maps for Zerg in general in our pool right now. I feel like Teldra and Malter is the best, but it's a great map for Dimaga. I think it's the best map for him that he's played on yet in this
in our pool, I suppose. I mean, we've had some Zerg players complain about it, about
Terminus
its inclusion and things like that. Yeah. So
I don't think that's
what I was basing off of.
I don't think it's got any balance problems, but
no,
it's,
not necessarily. It's just one of those situations where the way the game is right now,
players are always going to complain about maps. So are fans, so are everybody else.
Can you just have Scrap Station played 9 times in a row? I don't think I would watch a tournament that had Scrap Station as the only map.
I don't know, man. I saw someone talking about how Daybreak was imbalanced the other day, and I'm like, okay, go back to Gold League. Stop posting. Come on, man.
I love Daybreak, man. That's such a good map.
Yeah, it's a very even map too.
I'd like to look at our win statistics actually from Daybreak. So, anyway, HerO coming in and doing the same sort of harassment he's been doing the past couple of games, trying to steal himself a drone kill, but doesn't look like he'll be successful at the moment. Coming back though to be doubly annoying. And just taxing his opponent's APM. Of course, he has 1 probe out on the field. If he gets 2 drones to come off the line, then he's certainly doing his job. But now we have 6 lings on the way for Dimaga.
Yep. Pretty typical opening from both of these guys right now. And on a map like this, Dimaga, again, I still feel like Mutalisks are a good option, but he could be planning something else too. One thing that I'm going to sound crazy here, and it is crazy, but I wish we'd see more Nidus play. I feel like Nidus is one of the most underused things in the game right now.
I'm right there with you.
I think the big thing, honestly, that keeps Nidus from being used in a lot of matchups is that sound it makes whenever it pops up. No matter where it is, you hear that sound.
Yes.
And I don't know. I mean, it's the same kind of idea as you have with like a nuclear missile being launched.
Right.
But let's be honest here, all right? A Nidus worm coming up is not the same as a nuke being launched.
That's
okay?
true.
Nidus worms, can be scouted. If you have a good view of your base, you should never get Nidus in your base. I mean, just like you should never have a pylon snuck into your base. It's the same type of thing. But
sure.
I don't know. I feel like if they took the sound effect off the Nidus worm when it pops out, people would use it a lot more. I think it would open up a lot of cool strategies for Zerg. You could use it like a Nidus network, like StarCraft 1. I don't know. Well, that's my speech on Nidus worms.
Well, there have, in a similar vein, though, even drops. They've been more used lately, but they're still underutilized. I remember Nerchio against Jockji went out to a quick 3-1 lead twice on the back of very quick Roach Ling drops off a 2-base,
Absolutely.
So I'd like to see that utilized more. I do tend to agree with you on your thoughts about the Nidus worm, though. I do think that the noise needs to be taken away. I don't see a point for that being there, because if you need to have vision of this if you want to watch for drops, right? Well, why shouldn't you have to have vision of that if you want to watch for Nidus play as well?
Yeah, exactly. I think it unnecessarily makes a very interesting aspect of Zerg's play harder. But I don't want to spend too much time criticizing it. But Blizz Dev team, if you're listening, take out the sound from Nidus worms, please.
Well, 2 more gas coming up now for Dimaga. Actually, the first 2 gas. They're actually popping up at his natural, though.
Yeah. Yep. He just pretty much went for the quick 3rd hatchery like usual. A little bit different way to do it this time, but in general about the same.
Yep.
Robotics facility coming out for Liquid HerO.
And he is starting to tear after the destructible debris right now. Those will go down oh so slowly with just 2 zealots on them.
Yep. Now HerO originally was one of the players that loved using warp prisms versus Zerg on this map.
Sure.
He was one of the people that finally started getting some significant wins for Protoss versus Zerg in the GSL back in a time when Zergs were winning like easily every single game. So I'd love to see sort of a renaissance. And there's the Warp Prism from HerO, so
Boom.
we might actually see that sentry drops work really, really well on this map.
Yes, they do.
And HerO is actually one of the best people out there doing them.
Well, we'll see what sort of damage he can get done. We do have an Evolution Chamber, Lair Tech, and a Roach Warren coming up for Dimaga all at the same time. For HerO, on the other hand, he's still going to town on those destructible debris. They're almost down now. The Overlord does see that, as a matter of fact, so he knows the third base will be starting soon. And he does, I don't know if he actually saw, he may have caught just a little glimpse of the Warp Prism there.
Yeah, he might have seen it, but it depends. You know, have to see how prepared he is. He's got his Roach Warren finishing right now, and he does have a good amount of money saved up, too, for some Roaches. Got +1 weapons on the way. Oh, yeah, he's already moved some Zerglings up there, so he knows there's a good chance the Warp Prism is coming, but he's definitely going to need more than just 5 Zerglings for that, I would say.
Yes, he is. Here comes 2 Zealots, 2 Sentries, and the Zerglings are already in position. Are any units getting shifted? Yes, they are. Those Sentries are going to have to watch out, but it looks like the Zealots are already done with +1. We also have another Warp in, a bunch more Zealots on the way. The Queen is trapped, goes down immediately, and a bunch of drones are going to get caught in here as well. This is once again very, very bad for Dimaga.
Yeah, this is one of the things that HerO is best at, these Sentries, Zealot drops, and people's mains. He is so good at just getting in there and doing damage. He's going to have to retreat now that the Roaches are out. That's going to be about it for that. But he killed some workers. How many did he kill?
12.
He killed 12, yeah, total in this game.
Good.
That's not too bad at all. And now that Warp Prism is just going to kind of fly around, be a constant threat for Dimaga, kind of force him to stay on his toes. And, yeah, HerO's just really, really good at this sort of thing.
Killed
Dimaga, though. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was going to say killed that Queen as well as an added benefit in addition to those Lings.
That definitely does help, too, yeah. Dimaga, though, going for some really fast upgrades, already getting 1-1 here.
Yes.
And, oh, a Dark Shrine for HerO as well as Blink. So this is a good kind of think in advance type of thing from HerO. He's kind of preparing already for the later stages in the game. One of the best way to deal with those expansions that are really spread out across the map by Zerg is to send like a DT and a couple Zealots to each one, you know, and put pylons all over the map and do warp-ins. That's a lot more effective, I think, in a lot of cases than Warp Prism play. I actually talked quite a bit in Korea with Naniwa and Sase about just this thing, trying to figure out, you know, if it was Warp Prism play or Warp-ins that were better to deal with those sort of satellite expansions. And in general, the DTs and the Zealots seem to be more effective.
Yeah, I mean, just even if you know a DT is there, just given their DPS, you generally have to split up forces or allocate a good amount of forces just to take care of them, unless you overcommit to spine crawlers or something. So,
yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, we have Robotics Bay following this up now for HerO, and he does drop in a bunch more units, going to get himself a couple extra worker kills before he actually turns around. Looks like he's got 3 more workers and is going to get himself, no, not quite a Roach. That does manage to make its way away, so just being as annoying as possible. Dimaga is up to 135 supply. HerO falling back, but of course he is invested into really high tech and is now sitting on 3 base, so he should be able to produce quite an army soon.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of surprised that HerO hasn't been doing a lot of scouting yet either. He's kind of, I mean, normally you'd want to be looking for those satellite expansions here.
Sure.
I think he knows he's gotten Dimaga to produce enough units that there aren't going to be any of those fast extra bases.
Right.
And this push from Dimaga looks pretty strong, but he's going to need to do it just right. Uh-oh.
Yeah, there is that DT push coming
Goodbye,
through.
Lair.
So we'll watch this up at the front here to see if Dimaga can break his way through. That is quite a few infested Terrans dropping down. Looks like they're going after a couple of Sentries first, but then they don't get a lot done. These photon cannons are actually proving to be worth their weight in gold at the moment.
What's going on at Dimaga's main, though?
Let's
We've
go ahead
got
and
to
take a look
at that.
Oh,
the Lair does go down.
Bye-bye,
DT
Lair.
drop, and he's going to get the Roach Warren as well.
Yeah, we're going to see if he can do enough damage up at the front, though, to compensate for that. He's just running right into those cannons at the moment. This pylon was all that was powering a few of those, but unfortunately there's just too much there for HerO, and he does hold, and Dimaga has lost, well, all of his tech in the process.
Yeah, you know, this game right here actually reminds me of a lot of HerO's ZVPs from something like 4 months ago in like Code A. He was doing this build all the time on Terminus and usually had the same results. He didn't lose a whole lot. So Dimaga, though, having kind of a tough time dealing with it. Looks like the DTs aren't going to be able to do much at the natural, but HerO has done more than enough damage with this.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I mean, just that layer going down, the spawning pool, the roach warren, all of the gas production and mining off of one base, so critical to him right now. He's almost caught up in supply. He's on very high-tech, very upgraded units at the moment. He's got Colossi with Thermal Lance on the way, and it's really going to be on Dimaga to try and make something happen.
So Dimaga, I mean, he's sitting on about 1,400 minerals right now. This is really the time where you'd want to be throwing some hatcheries out just at random places on the map, you know, maybe over at the 3 o'clock, at the 6 o'clock, and just do something to make HerO have to react to you. I mean, this entire match, Dimaga's been having to react to HerO rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
So if he's going to have any chance at all of winning this best of 9, he's going to need to start putting some pressure on HerO, making HerO react to him. But this game, it's going to be tough. I mean, Dimaga's not out yet at all. You know, you can still has a supply lead, but losing the Roach Warren and the Lair is a big loss.
Yes, it is. And hasn't been able to invest in upgrades for a while either, as a matter of fact. And his opponent is sitting on +2 weapons, moving over to +3 at the moment. Also just started +1 armor, so he's going to have very, very good upgrades here. Dimaga making his way right up the gut. And HerO's got a pretty good army waiting for him, though, with those 2 Colossi sitting there and some sentries in the back. We'll see how much damage he can do.
Oh, man.
Colossi already killing a couple of infestors, and by the vast majority of Dimaga's army. But he's got those infested Terrans at the back. We'll see if that's enough. No! Guardian Shield proving to be so strong right now in protecting against those ranged units, and those Colossi are just killing swaths of roaches.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you add Guardian Shield plus the armor upgrades that HerO's already gotten, I mean, it's well, I guess he's still working on +1, but, you know, those infested Terrans just are not going to do a lot of damage at all to those units. GG from Dimaga.
Oh,
Dimaga.
Wow.